So Thursday night smokes this week. Got out just before the sun's about to go down. So yeah, hopefully I'll get this smoke in before it gets dark because I haven't brought all my lights out. The whiskey today is the Glenanachie 12-year-old. There's a reason I picked this one. I was reading a news article, funny enough, on Google last week. They reckon this, the 12-year-old, is basically the equivalent or replacement of the Macallan 25. Very, very bold claim. It's actually, the distillery for this is just down the road from the Macallan distillery. So it's actually not without merit. Now, as you can see, I'm going through this bottle reasonably quickly. Definitely going to have to get at least two more. One to keep and another one to drink. So that's tonight's whiskey. So the interesting thing is, I've picked this whiskey because I want something I know I'm going to enjoy. And I'm having something that, I won't lie, a little scared of. It's been sat in my humidor for a while. And I've just let it sit there because it's like, I don't know if I want it. I was tempted to go with a Cuban tonight, but I'm not. I'm going to go for this one. Now, the Cuban version of it is this, the Royal Corona, Bolívar Royal Corona. So that's the Cuban version. That's an old tube. This is the New World version. Now, what I mean by New World version is this is the American version. Now, Americans will tell you, without a doubt, it's better. I'm not convinced. Hence why I've avoided this cigar. A little scared of it because Bolivar is one of my favorite Cuban brands. Now to have this, it's got an awful lot to try and live up to for that, but it's the American version of it, and I'm not sure I want to do it. Dry draws a little, well, it draws, but there's no flavor coming through at all, really, which is interesting. Need to say thank you to Duncan, Cigar Smoker UK, if you want to follow him on TikTok or YouTube and Instagram, thinking about it. So he's on all those platforms if you want to go follow him. He sent me this along with a few others to try. And I have to admit, out of all the ones he sent me, this is the one that scared me the most. Purely because I'm a big, big fan of Bolivars. Anyway. Oh. Yeah, I can see why that's good. I suppose I can't really put it off anymore, can I? Sort of leathery notes. I get that straight away. Maybe a touch of dark chocolate if I'm pushing it. Okay, that's pretty much what I'm getting for the moment. There is a spice in there, which I can't quite identify at the moment. But it is a very leathery wrapper, I have to say. Quite oily, which is good because it means the cigar's been kept well. I'm biased. This is the problem. I am actually quite biased. With Bolivars, traditionally, you get a lovely hint of black pepper right off the light. This, not so much yet. But I'm not ruling out that it's going to get better or going to change even. God, I hope it changes. Also, while I think about it, congrats to Duncan. He's recently become engaged. So congrats to you and the missus. I hope she knows what she's in for. And I mean that in a nice way, honest. Okay. That does change the whiskey a bit. So there is definitely more going on there than my palate's initially getting because the whiskey's changed. I was having a chat with a cigar group I'm part of, the British Cigar Society, a couple of days ago, thinking about it. And we were talking the difference between New World cigars and Cuban cigars. Because this is one of those arguments that forever comes up. And I am, and I will always be, probably, a Cuban snob. Now, the way I look at it, because there were a few people in the chat going, oh, I've never smoked Cubans, I'm not spending that sort of money. And that's fine. And that's actually the best way to look at it. I do think New Worlds are very much like the beers in the world. If you know what I mean, you go to the pub, you have a beer. It's cheap, you know what you're going to get. You're going to be happy with it. To me, a Cuban is very much like a whiskey. You are paying a premium price for it, and therefore the experience is going to be a bit different. You can't compare a beer and a whiskey. There's just no comparison. And I think that's it. That's the thing. To look at with New Worlds and Cubans, New Worlds are just one thing on their own. Cubans are something else. And you should identify it as that. And then you'll actually be able to enjoy both. Because that's what I've found. Once I've made that distinction, because I was forever going, yeah, Cubans are, they're the journey. And New Worlds are very much the not. Basically, they are what they are. They are what they start off, and they are as they end. As bad as that sounds. Whereas a Cuban is very much like that journey. Like a whiskey, you sip, you savor. A beer, you just kind of knock it back and don't really care. Anyway, that's my pennant, 2 pennants worth, and I'm sure that's going to piss off a lot of people. Looking forward to seeing some comments on that one. I mean, we are literally, a tiny half a centimetre in on that. So there's quite a way to go. If anything, it's too light. I think that's my problem with it. I'm so used to having, the traditional Bolivar, which is quite a peppery, spicy little smoke. This just doesn't have that. And that's what I got to remember to teach myself. It's not the same as you're used to. Will say the construction of that is amazingly good, which is where New World cigars are generally better than Cubans. The construction on Cubans can be quite hit and miss, which gets very annoying. But when you get a good Cuban, it's worth the world. They are amazingly good. This, though, is a cigar that if I was doing something, it'd just be the sake of having the cigar whilst I was doing something. I'd probably be all right, quite happy with it. But because I'm such a big fan of Bolivar cigars, I was hoping the American version, the New World version, would be a bit more robust, a bit more, or just a bit more. But yeah, I'm glad I've tried it. Again, thank you, Duncan, for sending it to me to try. Glad I didn't have to buy it. As bad and as cheeky as that sounds. Don't make your nest there. You really don't want to make the nest there. We've got crows up on the roof. It's nesting time. And one of them is deciding to make a nest in our guttering. Anyway, catch you guys on the next video.